Ankara, Turkey, July 1402 AD. The most powerful sultan in the world is sitting in a cage. Sultan Bayezid I, called the Thunderbolt, has spent 7 years besieging Constantinople. He has destroyed the combined armies of France, Hungary, and England at Nicopolis. He has never lost a battle. He is sitting in an iron cage, carried on the back of a cart, through the streets of Anatolia. The man who put him there rides ahead on horseback. He is 64 years old. He walks with a permanent limp, the consequence of an injury in his 20s that shattered his right leg and never healed cleanly. History remembers him by that limp. In Persian, Timur the Lame, Timur the Lame, Tamerlane. He is on his way home. The man in the cage will die in captivity. The man on horseback will spend the next 3 years building the most beautiful mosque in the history of Islam and dedicating it to his grandmother. Both of these things are true, and neither one explains the other. 5% of every human being alive in 1400 AD, killed by one man in 35 years. 15 to 17 million people. He also built a city whose tilework modern architects cannot reproduce. He played a version of chess that mathematicians study as a formal system today. He memorized the Quran. The same man, the same 35 years. This is how both things happened. He is born in 1336 AD near the town of Kesh in what is now Uzbekistan, a place of flat steppe and dust and minor political consequence. His clan, the Barlas, is Turco-Mongol by blood, but sedentary by circumstance, increasingly squeezed between the larger powers fracturing across the old Chagatai Khanate. He is not royalty. He inherits no throne, no title, no court, no army with banners. For the first 20 years of his life, he is a minor strongman in a landscape full of minor strongmen. He steals sheep to feed his men. He raids caravans. He loses and loses again, and builds alliances the way a careful man builds a fire, slowly, deliberately, watching the wind. Then, sometime in his 20s, during a raid that history does not record clearly, he takes an arrow, or a sword, through his right side. His right leg fractures. His right arm sustains damage that will limit its mobility for the rest of his life. He walks with a limp from that moment until the moment he dies. He conquers the known world on that leg. By 1370, through political maneuvering, assassination, and the careful cultivation of enemies who become allies, who become enemies again, he controls Samarkand. By 1380, he controls Persia. By 1398, he has crossed the Hindu Kush and sacked Delhi, and killed 100,000 prisoners in a single day, because he decided they were logistically inconvenient to manage. By 1402, he has shattered the Ottoman Empire and put the Thunderbolt in a cage. Then he turns east. He builds the most beautiful city in the medieval world. He kills 17 million people. He dies in a tent on the way to China. He has never lost a battle. He is 68 years old. His right leg has been broken since his 20s. He has spent 35 years on horseback. He does not make it to China. Isfahan, Persia, 1387 AD. It is one of the great cities of the world, a population of approximately 200,000 people, a center of Islamic scholarship, a place of libraries and covered markets and minarets that rise above the flat Persian plain like fingers pointing at the sky. Isfahan surrenders to Timur without a fight. Timur accepts. The city pays tribute. He leaves. 3 days later, a tax collector is killed. A minor revolt, the kind that happens in every occupied city. A few men with frustration and a blade, acting without calculation. He turns around. He issues an order, not a rage, not a tantrum, an order, specific and administrative, that each of his soldiers must deliver to him a fixed number of human heads. His soldiers work through the enemy combatants. They run out. They begin killing civilians to meet the quota. They run out of those too. Some of them begin killing each other's prisoners. The contemporary chronicle records 70,000 dead. Outside the Isfahan city gate, Timur constructs a tower from their skulls, 40 feet high, mortared with clay so it will not collapse in the first rain. It stands for months. Every merchant on the road to Isfahan sees it before he sees the minarets. Every pilgrim, every diplomat, every envoy from every city between Samarkand and the Mediterranean coast. This is not a breakdown. This is not anger. Timur is not angry. He is sending a message to every city between Samarkand and the edges of the known world. A message with specific architectural dimensions, visible from a distance, designed to last. The cost of resistance is not defeat. It is this. The next city he approaches surrenders before he arrives. Now, stop. Take a breath. Because this is where the script has to make a choice that most scripts about Timur refuse to make. And the choice is not to look away. The Bibi-Khanym Mosque stands in Samarkand today. Its main dome rises 40 meters above the city. Its portal arch, the great entrance gate that faces east toward China, is 35 meters high, tiled in deep blue and turquoise, and a gold that catches the afternoon light and holds it. When Timur returns to Samarkand between campaigns, which he does consistently, as if the city is a wound he returns to treat, he does not rest. He builds. The Bibi-Khanym Mosque, completed in 1404, is named for his wife. It is the largest mosque in the Islamic world at the time of its construction. The tile work on its facade is produced by craftsman Timur has gathered from every direction of the compass. Persian master tile workers from Shiraz and Isfahan, Syrian mosaic artists from Damascus, Indian mathematicians who calculate the dome's stress tolerances with a precision that confounds modern engineers. Some of those craftsmen are there because Timur took them from the same cities where he built the skull towers. The tile work is still blue. 600 years later, the same blue. The Gur-e-Amir, his mausoleum, begun in 1404, is a building of such precise and accumulated beauty that 2 centuries after it is finished, a Mughal emperor named Shah Jahan will stand before it and decide that when he builds a tomb for his own wife, he will use it as his model. The building Shah Jahan builds from that decision is the Taj Mahal. He also builds an observatory on a hill above the city. His grandson Ulu Beg will use it to calculate the length of the solar year with an accuracy of 28 seconds in 1420 AD, without a telescope, without a calculator, without anything but mathematics and patience and the sky. He builds a library stocked with manuscripts. He has taken them from the libraries of the cities he has burned. He reads them. He reads the history of the cities he has destroyed. He builds monuments that will outlast the memory of everyone those cities ever contained. The tile work on the Bibi-Khanym Mosque is still blue. 6 centuries later, still blue. Delhi, November 1398 AD. Timur arrives with an army of 90,000 cavalry. The Delhi Sultanate fields 100,000 infantry and 120 war elephants. But before the battle, there is a problem. During the march through India, Timur has accumulated 100,000 prisoners, Hindu civilians, captured in the campaign south through the Punjab. 100,000 people moving with the army, slowing it down. His generals come to him with a concern that is framed, in the chronicle sources, as a logistical problem. If the battle begins, the prisoners will revolt. They will attack from behind. They will compromise the cavalry formations. Timur considers this. He orders all 100,000 killed. The chronicler Yazdi records that his soldiers worked through the morning so continuously, so without pause, that some of them afterward could not stand from exhaustion. They could not stand from the effort of killing 100,000 people. Then Timur wins the battle. Then he sacks Delhi. Contemporary accounts, and the archaeological record, and the demographic record, and every measure historians have applied to this event, confirm that Delhi takes 100 years to recover its pre-1398 population levels. 1 century for a city. 100,000 people killed in a morning as a logistical decision. Delhi takes 100 years to recover. Timur spends the afternoon winning the battle. That evening, he dictates a letter to Samarkand, ordering new tile work for the Bibi-Khanym mosque. He plays chess. This is documented across multiple sources: campaign chronicles, court records, the accounts of visitors to his camp. He plays during marches, he plays between battles, he plays while his secretaries wait with administrative correspondence. And at some point, the historical record does not give us an exact date, he decides that chess is not quite enough. He invents a variant. Tamerlane chess is played on a board of 10 squares by 11 squares. It adds pieces that standard chess does not contain: a camel, a war machine, a second queen, a giraffe. The additional pieces do not simplify the game. They extend its strategic depth in ways that require the player to maintain a longer chain of contingent thinking. More variables, more board states, more futures to calculate simultaneously. In the 20th century, mathematicians analyzed Tamerlane chess as a formal combinatorial system. Their conclusion? It is genuinely more complex than standard chess. Not a novelty, not a decoration, a real extension of the game's strategic architecture. The man who built Skull Towers also built a more sophisticated version of chess. Both are documented, both are real. And then, in 1401, outside the walls of Damascus, which he is in the process of taking, Timur receives a visitor. Ibn Khaldun is 69 years old. He is the greatest historian in the Islamic world and one of the greatest social theorists in human history. His work on the rise and fall of civilizations, the Muqaddimah, will not be fully appreciated in the West for 5 more centuries. He and Timur sit together. They talk for hours. They talk about history, about the nature of power, about why civilizations collapse, and what forces build them and what forces end them. The skull towers from Baghdad, where Timur has just collected 90,000 heads, are still visible from where they sit. Ibn Khaldun writes in his autobiography, the Tarikh, that Timur is among the most remarkable rulers he has ever encountered. He uses words like sharp-minded and inclined to debate. He records Timur's historical knowledge with what reads, across the centuries, like genuine respect. He does not mention the towers, or perhaps he thinks they are the same thing. How does the same mind produce the Bibi-Khanym and 70,000 skulls? What does it mean when the greatest historian of the medieval world sits across from the man who has just depopulated 3 cities and leaves the meeting impressed? Ibn Khaldun leaves the meeting impressed. He writes in his autobiography that Timur is one of the most remarkable rulers he has ever encountered. He does not mention the towers, or perhaps he thinks they are the same thing. Now return to Ankara, return to the cage. Bayezid I has not come easily to that cart. He is, by any contemporary measure, the most dangerous ruler in the Mediterranean world. He has dismantled the crusade at Nicopolis in 1396, the last serious Western military attempt to stop Ottoman expansion. He has besieged Constantinople for 7 years and is close enough to its walls that the city's fall is broadly understood to be a question of when, not if. He and Timur exchanged letters for years before the battle. In Timur's letter, preserved in the Chronicle of Ibn Arabshah, he addresses Bayezid's contempt with a line that has the quality of a man who has already decided how the next 3 years will end. You are nothing but the buzzing of a fly in my ear. The Battle of Ankara in 1402 is not won by superior force. Timur's army is large, but Bayezid's army is also large. What Timur has spent years building is not an advantage in cavalry or artillery. It is an advantage in information. The Anatolian Turkish vassal lords who serve under Bayezid, the small princes of the borderlands, men who have watched the Ottoman Empire absorb their independence piece by piece, have been, for years, in quiet correspondence with Samarkand. During the battle, they defect. Not 1 or 2, many. Bayezid's army does not lose the Battle of Ankara so much as it dissolves, the formations breaking apart from within, the wings pulling away, until what remains is a core of loyal Ottoman soldiers surrounding a sultan who has no room left to maneuver. Bayezid is captured. He is brought before Timur in chains. He dies in captivity within a year. What follows is the consequence that no one in 1402 is thinking about, because it will take 50 years to become visible. The Ottoman Empire collapses into a civil war among Bayezid's sons. It lasts a decade. The Ottoman siege of Constantinople lifts. Constantinople survives until 1453. The Ottoman Empire that falls apart after Ankara eventually reassembles, but not before 1413, and not in the same form, and not with the same momentum, and not before those 50 years have passed. Timur does not intend to save Constantinople. He has never been to Constantinople. He does not care about Constantinople. He defeats Bayezid because Bayezid called him a fly in a letter. Christian Europe survives as a distinct civilization for 50 additional years because of that letter. Timur is dead before anyone notices. February 1405. He is marching east from Samarkand toward China with an army of 200,000. He has crossed the Hindu Kush 3 times, the Caucasus twice, the Syrian desert in summer. He has spent 35 years sleeping in tents and riding on a leg that has been broken since his 20s. He camps at Otrar in what is now Kazakhstan. He develops a fever. He is 68 years old. He dies in his tent on February 18, 1405. The army stops. The march to China ends. His body is returned to Samarkand and interred in the Gur-e-Amir beneath a dome of ribbed terracotta tile the color of a winter sky. Inside the tomb, according to the account of Soviet archaeologist Mikhail Gerasimov, who opens it in 1941 on the orders of Stalin, there is an inscription. Its origins are disputed. Its authenticity is not universally confirmed. But the inscription, as recorded by the Soviet team, reads, "Whoever opens this tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." Gerasimov opens the tomb on June 19, 1941. On June 22, 1941, 3 days later, Nazi Germany invades the Soviet Union. The Soviet army reburies Timur with full Islamic rites before the Battle of Stalingrad. Stalingrad ends in Soviet victory. Historians call the timing coincidence. The soldiers who fought at Stalingrad were never asked. His direct descendants rule Central Asia and India for the next 300 years. His great-great-great-grandson, Babur, founds the Mughal Empire in 1526. The word Mughal is a corruption of Mongol, the identity Timur claimed through his mother's lineage, despite being ethnically Turkic. He claimed it because Genghis Khan's blood was the only credential that meant anything in the world he was building. The Mughal Empire rules India until 1857. Shah Jahan, Mughal emperor, Timur's descendant, builds the Taj Mahal in the 1630s. He models it explicitly on the Gur-e-Amir, the ribbed dome, the proportions of the portal arch, the relationship between the tomb structure and the surrounding garden. The Taj Mahal has been photographed more than almost any other building on Earth. It is the great-great-grandchild of a building funded by Skull Towers. Samarkand is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Registan, its central plaza, contains 3 of the most elaborately decorated structures in the medieval world, built by Timur's successors in the tradition he established. In the early morning, before the tourists arrive, before the heat rises off the stone, the tile work on the Registan catches the first light and holds it. Deep blue, turquoise, a gold that is not quite gold and not quite copper, and does not have a name in English that does it justice. 600 years of frost and sun and war and Soviet restoration, and the weight of time, and it is still standing, still blue. Timur's face is on the currency of modern Uzbekistan. He is a national hero. The Skull Towers are mentioned in the fine print. He killed a world. The world built monuments to him anyway.